Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers. Good to see you again. And this is my lecture, NE150, Module 3. And this is Part 5. We're actually now in the stage of creating all the high poly pieces that we can now then bake in onto the low poly. So now we're making all the plates on the outside. You can see all these plates that we're creating on the side here. We started with this one here. And it doesn't matter where you start, but I thought we could start on the outside. These are very complex, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so one of the things I love to use is the hide function. To do that, you can select the objects that you would like to hide. So let's go Control 1 and show everything. So let's say I really want to focus on this piece right here. I can do Control 1. Okay, this isolate select that just basically hides everything else and just has that one open. And you can hit the F key and just work on this, right? Which is a really great feature. So Control 1. So I wanna show all these three pieces that I'm working on and the background. You'll have to make sure the background is on and make sure that you have the R off. Okay, if you reference it, you won't be able to select it, right? So make sure you go into the channel editor. Make sure you turn off the R for reference in the background and select it. If you want to keep that within your isolated selection, hold down the Shift key and just select all the pieces you want. Do a Control 1, that takes care of that one. And then if we go to like the side view, and then I already have it, if I do Control 1, it shows everything, but if I do Control 1 again, it isolates it. Okay? So this is a great tool to use. I can also turn off the background anytime I want to, just to kind of highlight what I'm working on. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to turn the background off just for now because we've got a triangle. We can see that and I'm just going to kind of work on this one here. Highlight that one in the middle. This one is almost done. I think the only thing I need to do is add a edge loop right here to support that edge. So porting edge, let me do that real quick before I forget. So I'm going to click on that and add that edge loop. That's what we forgot in the last part. So add the edge loop there. And hit the Q key to get out of the tool. Always hit the Q key to get out of the tool. So let's go back into object mode and click on this one. We need to get rid of this triangle. So a couple things we can do is we can add an edge loop that goes across. We can also, I'm going to basically move this over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to weld these two pieces together. First thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to right click. Well, actually welding tool only works when you're in object mode, which seems a little weird to me. Should be a component mode tool, but we'll hold the Shift key down, right mouse button, go to Target Weld. This is a new tool for you. It's really, really cool though. You'll basically, with your left mouse button, you'll select and hold it down. So push down on your left mouse button over the vertex, okay, you would like to weld to, alright, the vertex you want to start with, and then you want to weld to this. Let's say we want to weld to this one, and that's what we want to do. And you just move it over, holding down the left mouse button. Just keep holding the left mouse button and then let go. Once you get used to this, it's pretty quick and it's pretty easy. It's pretty cool. Okay? So what we want to do now is we want to add an edge that goes all the way across here. So let's go ahead and do that next. So let's go back, hit the Q key, go back into selection mode. I'm going to hold the Shift key down, the right mouse button, and go to Multi-Cut tool. I'm going to go ahead and select anywhere on this edge and move down so it snaps to that edge right there and go all the way across. And we want to make it as even as possible. Okay, that's a good thing. There we go. Hit Enter. Okay, great. So we still have that triangle, which is a problem. Okay, now we're going to go into and select this edge right here. Delete that. I know this is going to sound crazy. Delete that one, and then we're going to go into vertex mode and we're going to delete that vertex. Okay, so let me go back and do that again for you so you can see what I did. So I'm going to go into edge mode, select the edge, okay, delete it. Hit the delete key. Select that edge, hit the delete key. Right click over this, go to vertex, select that vertex, and delete it. So that gives us a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrangle, 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrangle. So we fixed it. We made it look like this one. So now we have all quadrangles. Okay, we got to space this guy up a little bit more. This is a problem. That's just too close. So let's go ahead and move that up a little bit. Go double click on the move tool, go into component, and just move that up, slide that up, and let's do this one too as well. Okay, now it does get a little wonky, so let's try normal. There we go, and that'll slide up that really nicely. There we go. So that's better. That's spaced out a little bit better. And let's go to, I usually go between component, and that's on an outside edge, and then normal on an inside component. Okay, there we go. And you can see that helps a lot. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we're ready to break this up now that we all have quadrangles. It's still going to be a little bit tricky for that piece. So let's go ahead and get at it. Alright, so we're going to need to go in here, and we are going to add edge loops now. And it's going to get a little strange when we start adding edge loops, so we'll just go ahead. We're going to go horizontal this way first, and then we'll try vertical. There's only so far we can go with the vertical and horizontal. Then we'll have to start building cages on our own to get everything to match up properly. Okay, so here we go. Make sure you're in object mode, and we're going to go ahead and go to insert edge loop and see how far we can go with insert edge loop. So click on an edge. Okay. Now you notice that this looks really wonky, right? It starts off really bad over on that one side. That's okay. And we're going to go on this side. Okay, we're going to try to keep it the same distance. Okay. Alright. And this will take us up across this one, like this. Again, that looks a little bit wonky, right? And let's go ahead and fix this before we start doing anything else. I want to fix some of these lines here real quick. So go to vertex, and we kind of know how this works. We click on the vertex, we double click on the move tool, and right now I've got it on normal. I could probably, you can go between component, right, and that'll work too as well, and just kind of move that out so we get that nice distance. Okay, and what you're doing is you're gonna keep that tool box open. Maybe just make it smaller. There we go. Alright, so, and then we're gonna move out a little bit and take a look at this one down here. That looks good across there, and we're just looking for areas that might pinch. And so that component mode isn't working there. How about normal? That's not even working. Custom, let's go to edge and select that edge. I think that will work. If I go to custom, select that edge, select that vertex now, and orientation, transform, edge. There we go. Select that edge. And vertex, slide. There we go. So I'm able to slide that vertex along that edge, which is cool. Alright, so I'm going to go back again. I was in component, and then I went transform constraint to edge. So I select it, and it says I click on the vertex and I just slide it. We can do the same thing with this guy right here and just slide it around, slide it on that edge. That's just another way you can move things around. Again, you can move that, but you don't want to. You want to keep that snapped. Okay. So that looks pretty good, like that. Alright, so right click over and then go to selection mode. We can close this again. Again, we can reset the tool, right? So again, let's say I want to do this edge right here. So let's go to vertex mode and click on the vertex we want to add. Let's go to edge, and then in here you can see it says slide when you get in the middle of it. That means you can slide it up and down. It'll follow that edge. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click this off and go back in here. And if we need to use the slide vertex, we can. And we've got some edge loops over here that are close together. The problem with edges that are close together, they can pinch at the ends, and we don't really want that. You can see that we got it going across there. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep adding edge loops. So hold down the shift key, right mouse button, insert edge loop, and we can go in there and start adding edge loops that we need. Okay. You can see these outside edges are very difficult to do because they just have nothing else to connect to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this guy up here and get that started. We can't do anything here, but I can try to do one right here. You can see it's trying to create that. So what I'll do is I'll bring it down to where it looks good here, because I don't want to move all of these. So excuse me. If I go back, Control Z, and do it again, I could go up and maybe get that one working, and then I could take, and what I could do is I could slide that edge. Okay, so I'm going to hit the Q key, and I can just deselect this one. Actually, I don't want to deselect that one. I just want to deselect that other one. Let's go Control Z back. Deselect this one. I'm just holding down the Control key. There you go. And so I'm just selecting this edge here. So I want to slide that edge. Hold down the Shift key, right mouse button, and go to Slide Edge Tool. In my middle mouse button, I can slide that up and down. You can see how I can work that. That works out pretty good. I'm not really happy with that. Then, we can fix these things here. Okay. And the problem with this is that we need to go across here, unfortunately, to get this edge correct, or we can add another edge loop over here, which we'll probably do. So we've got some cleanup to do here. Select on that vertex, and we can just move that up. Okay, there we go. So that corner's done. This corner's almost done, so let's go ahead and get this knocked out. So I'm going to go into Edge Loop Tool, and then add an edge loop there. So this corner is done because we've got support edges in this corner right here. Support edges, we don't really need them here, but here and here. So let's go to the other corner and let's work that one out. And so I'm going to go ahead and add an edge loop here. This one should be a little easier. Edge loop here, across here, and across here. Okay. That looks good. So we've got that corner completely finished. Looks good there. And then we've got this corner, and we need to add an edge loop here. Okay, that looks good. An edge loop here. Okay, so we've got one here, we've got one across here, this one here, we've got that one done. That corner is completed. This one needs to be done. Let's do that one. And then that one. And then we got this crazy one right here that goes all the way across. So that supports, let's go back again. Let's try that one again. There we go. So that one supports here. And we've got problems with this. This isn't going to be, we need to pull these up. So this happens. So we're just going to have to figure it out. Let's move these, slide these edges up. This is kind of a weird corner angle too as well. So this is where slide edge would really work. So let's click on the vertex you want to move. Double click on the tool icon over here. And I don't think it matters what's on here, but you can just go to transform edge there and you can see it slides. So go ahead and slide that up. Click on this guy, slide it up carefully, and select this guy and slide it up. Here we go. And so it's kind of like sliding along using the edge slide tool. There we go. So you can see now that it looks like everything is supported. So that's good. We'll see how it looks. And go ahead and close that. Now, before you close the toolbox, always reset it. Okay, here we go. Because if you don't reset it and you try to move your object around, you're going to be like, what the heck? So reset it. You may even want to go to object orientation mode for your objects. Okay, not world mode. It's up to you what you want to do. But make sure you understand that if something's not rotating or moving properly, you need to look at the world and object mode orientation, axis orientation. Alright. And sometimes I forget to talk about that. So I apologize if that could have helped you earlier. But I'll do the best I can. Again, I'm human too as well. Hang on. If I make a mistake or something, I'm human again, just like you. And we're doing the best we can, you know. I know all of you guys are too. So, and I appreciate that. So let's keep working, knock it out. So let's hit the 3 key and see what that looks like. Okay? Alright. Well, it's not too shabby. It looks pretty good. I think it holds up. That looks great. Okay, good. That doesn't look good right there. So what did I do? Oh, I needed a support edge there. That's why. So when you see something falling apart, that giving you that, you know, we want kind of a tight edge, it's kind of telling you something, that you forgot an edge. And it's true, I'd forgot an edge. And that's easy to do. So go ahead and add that insert edge loop right there, which is easy to put in. And again, you can see that I'm keeping everything as uniform as possible, distance between each other, to keep to keep the edges when they round, when I do the smoothing, to keep them consistent with each other. So I'm going to basically, let me hit the Q key, get out of that tool. That's really important, you guys. I can't tell you how many mistakes I've made by having a tool still selected and then clicking on something and adding a vertex by mistake, or adding an edge, or doing something I didn't want to do. This is a good time for you guys to save your work. Okay. The next piece, let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this guy right here. Let's go into object mode up here and select both of these, and let's go ahead and delete by type history. Okay, that's really important because we get history that builds up, and it will actually slow your system down, believe it or not. So the next piece, let me turn the background back on.